Hey everybody out there! This is part 2 of my vitamin B12 information videos. So last video I was talking about how vitamin B12 is made, what it's made out of, and how it gets created. And last thing I mentioned is that internally in our bodies there are these bacteria. There's all kinds of bacteria, especially in the colon. There's probably billions or even trillions of them, and many different species of them. And some of them make B12 as long as they have access to cobalt. And the reason why they don't, people actually do have B12 problems or not getting enough B12 deficiency problems, even though we have tons of bacteria in our colon, is because the receptors for the B12 are in the small bowel, not in the colon. So we need to have the bacteria in the small bowel that manufacture the B12 so that we can get the receptors, so that B12 could be received at the receptors before it gets to the large bowel. So that is the main issue. We need to have the bacteria in our bodies that manufacture B12 manufacture at locations in our body that we can receive it. The receptors have to be there. Now, we actually don't really need receptors if we have vitamin B12 delivered directly into the bloodstream. Now, of course, besides bacteria in the large bowel and the small bowel, we also have bacteria in almost all, in fact, all of our mucous membranes, which means because we're exposed to the air and there's bacteria floating in the air, it actually is floating on little pieces of dust. Every piece of dust that's floating in the air, you don't see them. If you shine a black light or something, or fluorescent light in a very dark room, you'll see pieces of dust all over the place. Those are the visible ones. There's a lot of invisible pieces of dust. Every single one of those pieces of dust has tons and tons and tons of bacteria on it. They go in and out of our ears, they go in and out of our mouth. Whenever time we inhale air, we're always breathing in tons and tons of these bacteria. Quite a few of them produce vitamin B12. So these pieces of dust are B12 manufacturing factories. We're breathing them. We're breathing them in through our nose, through our mouth. They come into our eyes. They come into our ears. All of our mucous membranes on our face and other parts of our body as well are full of these bacteria, and they're full of bacteria that produce vitamin B12. In the case of mucous membranes, and there actually are healthy bacteria that are producing vitamin B12, quite often the B12 will go directly into the bloodstream because there's blood that there's little arteries and capillaries that go into all of our mucous membranes, into our nose, into our mouth, into our ears, and our eyes. So quite a bit of the bacteria that are in these orifices and mucous membranes are producing B12, and the B12 gets directly into the bloodstream, so we don't have to worry about the receptors that are in our small bowels because it's going directly to the bloodstream. That's where we need it, in the bloodstream. So the only problem with that is that lots of people, in fact most people, are using products and living a lifestyle that is not healthy to these bacteria that are in our mucous membranes. And that means people who eat toxic products that kill bacteria. Now everybody says, oh, garlic is so healthy, it kills bacteria. Yes, those people are right, garlic kills bacteria. But do we want to kill bacteria? We have all these mucous membranes full of bacteria producing B12, and we eat just a little piece of garlic, and guess what happens? Every one of these bacteria in our mucous membranes is killed. Maybe not every one, but enough of them is killed off so that they don't produce the vitamin B12 anymore, and then we don't have vitamin B12, and we have to actually get it from a different source. So not just garlic, onions, spices, vinegar, alcohol, antibiotics, all of those things, any kind of drug, in fact even cooked food, kills bacteria in your body. And if it kills enough of them, it doesn't need to kill that many of them. It kills just a little more than it keeps alive, and you're going to be foregoing that bacteria producing, little bacteria factories producing vitamin B12. So that is a major issue. This has now been part 2 of my vitamin B12 video series, and just wanted to let you know, stay away from the toxins, and I'll see you on a flight real soon. Take care.